There's one core belief behind the nice guy pattern, behind being a people pleaser, seeking external validation, chasing all those things to feel good about yourself. There's one core belief, and that is the core belief that is the root cause of all those strategy, all those fears, and then the anxiety and that overthinking, that passive aggressiveness, and that need to be liked, and that fear of being rejected. There's one core belief, and that is often the belief that I am not good enough as I am now. And that belief, rooted in unworthiness, in shame and guilt, is often, in most of the time, created when you were a child. This was the case for me. This was the case for so many of my clients who had those problems, those challenges, the situation of being too nice and so on. And often it is created as a result of our parents' relationship and teachers and just the way we grew up, right? And I give you my story as an example. I grew up thinking like, okay, if I am a good kid, if I am the good boy, if I'm not creating problems and being a burden and so on, I will receive love and validation. So my whole strategy for being liked was to avoid creating problems, being a burden, being a bad kid, and just being nice. So be agreeable, be nice, don't create confrontation, don't, all these type of behaviors, all those type of learning were simply shaped by the way I grew up. And it created an identity that if I am, what other people want me to be, then I receive the trade-off, validation, love, attention, all these things that we deeply crave as kids, right? And that strategy that we create as kids, because that's the only thing we know, remains the same, and it grows and it grows and it creates all those patterns. And in my life, in my teenage years, in my early 20s and so on, it was affecting me deeply. I was holding back in pretty much everything because I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of being rejected. I was afraid of what people would say. I was afraid, deeply afraid of feeling embarrassed, losing face, and being lesser than others. So I was hiding. I was avoiding confrontation. I was struggling to say no. I was struggling to be intimate and to have real, relationship with people. All of this while trying to meet other people's needs, was trying to go above and beyond to help others, to save others, to do better for others and so on. Because if you do that, then they'll give you back. This is the whole pattern behind the being too nice, right? Is that if I am what other people want me to be, then they like me, then they'll give me love, then they'll stay with me, then I won't be rejected, then I won't feel that unworthiness and that big feeling, which is pretty much always shame, because the nice guy pattern and all of this is rooted in shame, because shame is the voice of I am not enough as I am. And so when your whole identity was created around this belief that there's something missing, people won't like me as I am, I need to become or be a certain way for people to like me. You can see why you overcompensate so much and chase so much what you lack the most between yourself now, which is self-love, self-validation, and a deep understanding that I am enough as I am now, without the money, without the man or the woman, without needing to be nice and agreeable and perfect and the good boy or the nice girl, or however the strategy resonate in you. I am enough now. If I don't change a single thing in my great life or shitty life or wherever you are right now, if I don't change a single thing, I am still enough now, because I freaking choose so. So you're giving yourself the thing that you've been chasing so much. And I have been chasing worthiness through money, through success, through business, through women, through every single freaking way that was available externally to me, and always falling short, because even when I was in a relationship, somehow I will start to overthink and overgive. And when you start to do all those things for others, you start to create resentment, passive aggressiveness, because then you're not receiving what you want. Because the trade-off is that, okay, if I help you, then you'll help me back, or you love me back, and so on. But we all know that nice guys are good at giving, but very poor at receiving, or they don't ask, or people just go for somebody else, And this is why nice guys finish last. But it's a bit of a screw up, because nice guys often go in relationship, or they're often attracted to where they can rescue or save someone. So they will see a man or a woman that are struggling, that they can help, that they can bring value or support or money or whatever it may be, right? And so they create that dependency on them, because it's a trade-off. All of this is a subconscious trade-off. You help me, I meet your need, then I'm a good person, you'll give me back what I want, right? But it's subconscious. But what we have to realize is that this never works, because it's not another person's responsibility to meet your needs or to help you or to love you or to always validate you. And it's inconceivable. And often you keep attracting the thing that you struggle the most with, that deepest root, that deepest core belief that is in you. I'm not good enough. So you'll always experience something. I can do everything. I can go above and beyond. I can overgive. I can show up in the most crazy way, and somehow I'm still not good enough. And I experienced that a lot in my past relationship, because I'm doing all those things, and no matter what I do, it's still not enough. So you will always find yourself in situations where you feel like I'm not enough, I don't have enough money, enough success, or enough love, because it is a direct manifestation of who you are. So if I am not enough in my life, there is not enough. And your subconscious mind will simply project on authority, or in money, or in woman, or man, or love, or in relationship. It will find a way to project your deep belief onto others and make you experience that over and over and over again. So if you want to break free, if you want to heal that, if you want to start saying no, start really becoming your most authentic self, how do you do that? You have to really look in the mirror, because it's not like all the things around you are simply mirroring back that to you. So you can argue and blame and try to change this relationship and so on, but the only one you need to change and work on is the one with yourself. And depending on where you are on your journey, it's not that easy, because you're going to need to deal with a lot of often repressed shame, anger, guilt, emotions, because all of this is tied up in a lot of emotions and a lot of unworthiness. And you're going to need to love yourself, love this part of you that feels unworthy, unwanted, embarrassed, and so on. And everybody has different story and different experiences and so on. But ultimately it comes down to giving yourself what you need the most and what you've been chasing the most. And if you're in this pattern, if you're watching this video, it's most likely because you struggle with people-pleasing tendencies and being too nice and so on. And that will mean that somewhere in yourself, in your subconscious mind, you feel like that's the only way for me to feel good enough about who I am. And if I don't do those things, then what if people leave me? What are they gonna think? It creates that visceral reaction of feeling unsafe. And that shows you that somewhere in your subconscious mind, the only way you can feel safe, or the only way you can be in control, or the only way you can operate is by using those old strategies that you created a long time ago. And so it's your job now to go and to heal and to start to feel safe and to start to feel worthy and to start to see yourself as complete, whole right now. Not when you get the guy or the girl or the money or the freedom or the this or the, not when your life is perfect, not when you're performing, not when you're saving, not when you're rescuing, not when you offer value, not when you look your best, not when you don't, whatever. Now, as you are, even if you're miserable, I am still enough now for myself, because otherwise you'll be always chasing something greater and greater and greater and greater, and you'll always fall short. So the real question you have to ponder is that if I never reach that level or that thing that I want in my life, will I be good enough for me now? And if you need help on your journey, if you don't know where to start or how to break that old identity and give yourself what you need the most, you can book a coaching call down in the description with me, and together we can go to the root cause of how it started, why it started, and how you can start making that transformation in your life now. The link is down in the description. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this type of video. I'll see you next time. Be well.